are you talking like IRC channel? Like
Yeah, exactly.
One of those.
Yeah, like those like weird chat rooms where we had an avatar.
Yeah, you would just you just do it all leet code.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Your E is now a 3.
Yep.
Ugh. Ugh. Start the episode over. Well, welcome. I rolled the 20.
I'm sorry. We have to stop here. I know that because I'm a software engineer. What's your excuse?
I know that because once upon a time, if you downloaded some tools so you could spoof other people's AIM stuff, you would think you were a hacker.
Very good.
And yeah.
Okay.
That's horribly dumb.
Yep.
So what are we doing this week?
I guess I'm going to try to convince you.
Of what?
I'm going to convince you of an album that I don't believe that you had heard before. We're going to be talking about the album Discipline by the band King Crimson.
Yes.
I don't fancy you a big King Crimson listener.
No, you're correct.
Even though I know you own one of their albums.
I own more than one.
Okay.
That does not mean I've listened to them. It means I bought them in bulk. And I was like, that's a cool thing to have.
Yeah. So what we're doing today is we're doing, like I said, the album Discipline by King Crimson. This is 1980s King Crimson.
81.
Yep, specifically.
I was -3.
That's nice. That's nice. I was 9.
I'm sure you had it the day it released.
I did not. I'll tell you a story about getting this in a minute. Not about getting this, about getting my first King Crimson album. And so the purpose of this is we're doing an exchange. It's like a gift exchange. There's some albums I think that you might like that I'm positive just don't make it into your ears, and you're going to do the same to me. And we're going to see if my guess that you would like this or find it interesting is true. And if you don't, let's hear why not.
There you go.
That's all it is.
Yep.
And these are all going to be albums that are not on the list. And there's a lot more albums not on the list that are very good.
Quite.
Yeah. So I'll just give you, again, part of the reason why I thought you would like this is that you definitely are not afraid of complicated music.
Not at all.
And this is complicated music. The reason I don't believe you listen to this, I don't fancy you a King Crimson head. I don't fancy you really a Rush head. Any prog rock, probably not where you're going.
At least original prog rock.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like the stuff that defined it.
Yeah. But you might be more of like let's say like a Mars Volta.
Yeah, exactly.
Kinda.
Post-prog.
Yeah.
And to the stuff that you and I listen to today, which is heavily influenced by it still.
Sure. So little history on this is just, I'm not going to go through all of King Crimson because first of all, it's not even one thing. So King Crimson was formed in, 1969, and it contained Robert Fripp, who's on this as well, Michael Giles on drums, Greg Lake, vocals and bass, and Ian McDonald, winds and keys, and Peter Sinfeld as the lyricist. And they opened with In the Court of the Crimson King, which is considered a seminal prog rock album with one of the best album covers.
See the album cover in my face right now.
It is one of the best album covers. And in the 70s, it was a very different style of music than what we're about to talk to. There's a lot more, I don't even know how to put it without being, it's going to sound disparaging. But some might think there's some elves involved in some of the earlier music. It might be a little bit more...
Treants.
Yeah. Not all of it. There's some stuff in Court of the Crimson King that goes back and forth. They had a handful of albums, really culminating with the album Red, which is considered the best album of the time, or the most well-regarded album of the time. So I actually bought In the Court of the Crimson King by mistake. So in the 80s, I was a bit more of a metalhead than I am now. And are you familiar with King Diamond?
No.
So King Diamond was this like devil rock guy, and he had his face made up like almost looked like Kiss. And he had upside down crosses and sang with a super high voice. And I didn't really know his music at all, but I saw what he looked like, and I'm like, I'm going to get a King Diamond album.
That's me. Yeah.
And so I go into the record store, and I was frequent enough at the record store where the guy kind of knew who I was. I walk in, I'm like, hey, do you know anything about King Crimson? And he goes, yeah, they're great. I'm like, what do you recommend? And he goes and he hands me Court of the Crimson King.
And you're thinking, I am so cool right now.
Yes, I now have my King Diamond album. And I come home, and I'd heard King Diamond before, and I put this on. I'm like, what the hell is this? I was so pissed off.
How old were you?
I was like 13, 14.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You had a couple of funny record mishaps over time that if you listen back to our catalog, you'll hear about.
Yeah, we want to listen to Jefferson Airplane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Had a mishap there. Because I'd heard of King Crimson, obviously, when I went in, and I'm positive that I said King Crimson to him. And
he was stoked. He's like, you're ahead of your time, kid.
Yeah, yeah. And when I saw the album cover, I'm like, this is amazing. I'm going to love this. And it's all going to be about Satan, and it's going to be great.
Oh, my God.
It's not.
But it's still great.
It's still great. And I do like that album quite a bit. So...
Fantastic.
So back to King Crimson, who we're talking about. We're not talking about King Diamond. Might be worth going down a King Diamond episode.
Can't wait till next spring's break.
Yeah. So 1974, Fripp basically disbands the band. They go on a break. They're Ross and Rachel. Doesn't know what to do. And then 1980, Fripp and Bill Bruford sort of get back together. They start working and started a band that was actually called Discipline. And they met up with Adrian Belew, who played with Talking Heads, played with Frank Zappa, David Bowie, Tony Levin, who was legendary.
The Tony Levin.
Tony Levin, who was playing bass in Chapman Stick. And they basically, as I said, they work under the title Discipline. It's like, no, we're just the new King Crimson.
Yeah.
And they've moved away from sort of their more Court of the Crimson King vibe to a little bit more, you could say math rock in a way.
Yeah, I think it's a fair description.
And, there's a lot of polyrhythms and interlocking guitar parts and
some odd time signatures.
For sure.
Gnarly harmonies.
Yeah. And so that's really what it became. In the 1980s, King Crimson is really comprised of 3 albums: Discipline, Beat, and Three of a Perfect Pair.
So they kind of have recreated themselves into a new image.
Yep.
Yet still successful.
Yeah. And I believe Three of a Perfect Pair is the album that you have of theirs that I saw.
I definitely have that.
The yellow one with the little blue.
That's awesome.
Yep. And so I actually got into this album in the late 80s. Really liked it. Kind of put it on the shelf, and it came back into my ears, I don't know, probably half a dozen years ago. And I was fortunate enough last year, Adrian Belew and Tony Levin decided they wanted to get back and redo the 80s music. And Robert Fripp's like, go for it if you want to. I just don't really feel like doing the tour.
Yeah.
So they got together with Steve Vai and Danny Carey from Tool and formed Beat. And they did the Beat tour last year. And I was fortunate enough to go with my son to see them. And it was outstanding.
Yeah.
Outstanding. And they just released a live recording of that tour.
Oh, cool.
This past
I will
year.
listen to that.
Yeah.
I want to hear Danny Carey and I want to hear Steve Vai.
Yeah. And we'll talk about something with Steve Vai a little bit later when we get to Frame by Frame, which is a pretty gnarly guitar part.
I would say.
Yeah.
Okay.
So as we walk into this, any initial thoughts?
I wasn't surprised I was going to inherit some King Crimson, as I remember you going to see Survivors of, or half the band, as one would say. Because without Fripp, it does feel like he's such a, at least in the guitar world, he's so respected. I've known the name longer than I knew what he did. Right.
Yep.
But then you stick a guy like Steve Vai behind it, and you're like, oh my God, this has some gravitas,
Yeah. And sorry, when they first did the interview, like they're going to do this, Steve Vai's like, I'm not sure what I'm getting into.
Yeah, like for him to back down or show any sense of like uncertainty is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Because it's Steve Vai.
Right.
So I was not surprised to catch the album. I knew nothing about this one coming in with the exception of Frame to Frame. But that song on its own is actually kind of a jacked up anomaly, if you will.
Sure.
Because it doesn't sound like anything else. It sounds
Not
like some other stuff. But all the other stuff I could compare it to is just newer bands who I think ripped that off.
Probably did. Yeah.
And that's a good thing because I like all the references I think I dropped in here.
Yeah. I don't know how much you listen to Tool, but on their album, their recent album, Fear Inoculum, there's a song called Chocolate Chip Trip, and which is essentially a drum solo. And if you listen to that, and then you listen to this, you'll know where that came from.
I have a Tool reference written in my notes.
Yeah.
I think it's on the second tune.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of great stuff you can pull out. I'll mention the things that kind of stood out to me.
Yeah.
For those who have not seen us do last season's Convince Me's, we don't do this like we typically do, where you go song by song. We're going to kind of do our highlights, lowlights, if we have any.
Yeah.
And hammer out the verdict.
Yeah.
Are we taking a break?
Let's take a break.
Can we do that in this? All right, good.
You move down the long passage flanked by murmuring carbon life forms dressed in ceremonial fabrics. Their stares cling to you as you approach the dais at the far end. Your palms sweat, your heartbeat spikes. There, the keeper awaits, a young woman, poised, confident, and radiant, the kind of opponent your training has never prepared you for. She raises a hand, commanding your full attention.
Hi there. Can I get your name, please? Your name, please?
She repeats, her voice clear and warm, which only makes it harder. You try to answer, but your tongue decides to run diagnostics instead of forming words. Eventually, you manage something resembling your own name.
Jordy. My name's Jordy.
She smiles politely, which feels like a critical hit.
Great. Are you here for the bride or the groom?
You pause, too long. Entire civilizations rise and fall in the time it takes you to respond. Finally, you blurt,
Whichever one you're rooting for.
It hangs in the air like a cursed artifact. Her smile tightens just enough to let you know you've rolled a natural 1 on charisma. She checks her clipboard, mercilessly shifting her gaze. You try to breathe. You fail. Oh, also you add, because your brain hates you.
Do you have any gluten-free options? My stomach rebels.
You immediately regret every syllable. She nods, still polite, still professional, absolutely aware she's dealing with someone who fears forks and eye contact in equal measure. Before she can reply, a voice cuts in from the side.
Hey, I thought that was you.
You turn, and there she is, Clarissa, the long-running NPC in the campaign of your life, the one you've had a hopeless crush on forever, the one who kindly, clearly, and repeatedly delegated you to the realm of just friends. She looks great. Of course she does. She always does.
Oh, wow. I didn't know you'd be here. How's it going?
Every sentient life form in the ballroom turns to watch you attempt this dialogue tree. Your lungs go offline. Your knees begin to buckle like the Tacoma Narrows Bridge. The keeper looks between the two of you, sensing an emotional debuff flooding the room. You attempt to smile. It comes out like a grimace.
I quest onwards.
What?
She blinks. You roll for initiative. The Adventurer's Guide to Human Contact. Finally, a field manual for heroes who can conquer dungeons and decode ancient runes, but freeze when asked simple questions by a real human. Inside, you'll find strategies for answering without panic, surviving small talk, and navigating encounters where the only monsters are awkward silences, confusing compliments, and girls. Whether it's a wedding reception, an office mixer, or running into someone you've admired from afar for years, this guide turns every social interaction into a survivable, winnable quest. The Adventurer's Guide to Human Contact.
You know, that's pretty much why I only brush my teeth with things that are really, really soft at this point.
Yeah, you really, when your teeth start to feel like mushrooms, it's a lot.
It's the worst in the dirt. Mm-hmm. And the way they absorb water.
It's crazy because you start smiling and all of a sudden, you have like big horse teeth. And
mouth crying.
Yeah.
Ugh, no one likes that.
No.
All right. So it's only a 7-song album.
That's correct.
Which I appreciated. I swore after handing you the double album from LTJ Bookham last time, you were going to come back at me. So thank you.
Yeah. That almost didn't happen.
I'm aware, but I think for the sake of content production in the holidays, you made a fine choice, my friend. Mm-hmm. And I think the whole album sits just under 40 minutes.
Yep.
So it's funny, for 7 songs, it's actually not a short listen.
No, there's a lot of information packed into these 7
And the
songs.
back half of this album gets lengthy. There's 8-minute, 10-minute features. But it really does move. Overall, as a piece, I think it's cohesive, which I like. This is one of the marks I'm always looking at is, does the album sound like it's all one piece? Yes. That does not mean that the songs all sound the same or repetitive. That actually gets you negative points, right?
Yeah.
There's this kind of careful balance where you want it to sound like one work without feeling like you're just hearing the same crap over and over again.
Yep.
This album checks both of those boxes for me out of the gate. They do a really good job of sounding like themselves, which I knew very little about. Opens up on song 1, Elephant Talk.
Elephant Talk.
This is awesome. Elephant Talk, my first reaction, and you're going to get a lot of my reactions based upon artists that I grew up with.
Sure.
The first thing that I thought within 30 seconds of this song, maybe less, was, this reminds me of Incubus Science.
Yeah.
There's a couple of elements here that really hit. First, there's the vocal presentation. And if you listen to Brandon Boyd back on the Incubus Science album, which I relish, I think it's a fantastic album.
It is a great album.
Just kind of like it's kind of oddly yelled, spoken at times. There's a great attack and inflection on some of the words. There's fun scattered messaging. He's exploring neat rhythmic patterns in his vocals. Hooray. 2, there's insane guitar playing.
And he's singing while playing it. Well, he's like it's bonkers.
There's insane guitar playing. It's almost always like arpeggiated patterns, it feels like, or at least some sort of funky ostinato that just loops over and over again.
Yep.
It seems to be a theme throughout the course of this entire album. And they like to do it over 2 guitars.
They
They
do.
like to have like it's
counterpoint.
It is counterpoint, but if it is counterpoint, it's the least conventional chords where they hit and create.
Yes. Yeah.
That's funny because I didn't want to use the word because I don't feel like it's the truest form of counterpoint. But there's relationships. These aren't just 2 totally different guitar parts playing, but they're always playing the same rhythm. It's almost always like right, like looking, like hearing data. Yeah, exactly. So you'll either get straight 16th and 32nd note combinations, or you'll get some stuff that has some triplets in it.
Yeah.
Really complicated stuff for those who are already spaced out on what I'm saying.
And weird chords.
And so both of those give you Mike Enzinger vibes, a la Incubus.
Yeah.
The third piece is big open sounding hand drummy stuff going on, which whether it's played by the kit drummer, this one isn't. This one's obviously overdubbed as there's a kit.
Yeah.
But how it's performed live reminds me of that djembe that was very prevalent on Incubus Science.
Yeah.
So all of this felt like that to me.
And Bill Bruford did have a whole Rototom kit too, which fits into that.
Imagine it's one of those, half Neopert looking kits. So that's the first thing that struck me. I thought it was kind of a really eye-opening way to enter the album. If you don't know what you're getting into, you probably still don't by the end of this song.
Yeah. And sorry, in that opening lick, that's the Chapman Stick.
Yeah, so I was going to say there's this other interesting element, which I'll mention a little bit. But the Chapman Stick, which in this case is playing the bass part, but it's a tapped instrument.
Right.
It can be played multiple ways, but it's generally tapped, and you slide on it a lot too.
Yeah.
So it sounds just like an absolute maniac fretless bass with a little bit of a different timbre to it. And so it's creating a lot of texture. against kind of these rigid guitar parts.
Yeah.
It's really quite the listen.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
And one of my favorite parts is the elephant sound that they make with the guitar.
They do. Man, there's some great guitar tones in here.
Yeah.
No, it's a really neat opening piece.
One thing that's really cool, having seen them do this song and a few others off of this album, obviously, is watching it with my son. He's like, "Oh, they can do all of this live." I'm like, "Yes, they can."
Which is horribly impressive.
Yeah.
The accuracy this takes
Yeah.
is really, really something.
And Adrian Belew on stage, he's got a stage presence. He's goofing around most of the time. Like, he's not concentrating in doing this. This is not
You gotta love
hard.
that.
Yeah.
It's very Primus.
Yeah. And thinking about that Adrian Belew is the, we'll say lesser guitar player, right?
He's still a freak.
yeah, phenomenal.
He's
yeah.
still a freak.
Yeah.
No, it's one of these intros that leaves you going, all right, I don't know what I'm getting into. Except I did, because song 2 is frame by frame.
Yeah.
Which this one, the first thing that strikes me is this is a cool mix meter. Mm-hmm. I think it's like a 7 verse with a 4 chorus thing going on.
It's worse than that, my friend.
See, I didn't dive too hard into this because I figured this is written on your arm somewhere.
So the beginning is this relentless, that arpeggiated part.
Yep.
And that was the thing that Steve Vai was freaking out about. And eventually he couldn't really play it. He couldn't play it and sustain it because it's relentless. And Robert Fripp's like, just play something else. You know? And so live, when Steve Vai does it, he plays something which is, if you didn't know what this was, you'd be like, oh my God, what am I hearing? Because what Steve Vai is playing is still insane. But when you know this, is like, but it's not the part.
It's not the part.
Steve does do it sometimes. He just can't do it he can't sustain it. I think he says, he did have a shoulder injury or something. But anyway, so you have that relentless thing. But what you have is the main rhythm is one guitar part. They're the same guitar part, except that one of them is playing in 7. The only one's playing in 4.
Got it.
And so the one who's playing in 4 is just a truncated version of the 7, and they just meet up when they
meet up at 32
Yeah.
or something like that. Or 35. No, there is at some point in time 7 and 4 are divisible by each other.
Yes.
It's probably at 56. Probably not even there.
Yeah, they definitely match
a
up.
wild feeling
Yeah.
though. Like
Yeah.
it just you never quite get your footing until you do.
Right. But it doesn't matter because you have this backbeat that's going on with the drums and this slow melodic, vocal part.
Yep.
That he's singing over this nonsense.
This pulled out the Tool for me. Tool was 100% pulled from here. It felt Maynard-esque. And also the Chapman Stick's even bigger here than it is an Elephant Man.
Yeah.
Or an Elephant Talk.
Yeah.
Elephant Man. It's really pronounced. If you're wondering, listen to where the bass player should be.
Yeah.
You're gonna hear some stuff that's very experimental, not like anything you get nowadays.
No, but it grooves though.
No, all of this grooves. There's not a single song that doesn't feel good. I will say this song moves with the energy of Elephant Talk.
Yeah.
They're consistent within each other. Mainly, it's these kind of 2 guitar parts really destroying the upper register. Mm-hmm. A really funky bass line, a pretty good backbeat. This vocal presentation, however, is entirely different.
Yeah. And some fantastic vocal harmonies going on.
These harmonies are really, really trying.
Yeah.
Also pulled some Tool from that because they're modular fourths. Are they fourths that are moving
they're
down
fourths,
through the
yeah.
scale? Yeah. Really, really neat. You're convinced by song 2. If you know anything about, theory, you go, okay, I'm in prog rock world now.
Yeah.
Like it really sealed the deal.
But the thing that really stands out to me about this song, well, actually this whole album, is everything you're saying sounds completely inaccessible. And I don't believe that this is inaccessible. There's stuff on here that may be inaccessible, but there's in this album, but this song is just a grooving frame by frame.
So for me,
like it's death, but like it's,
I'd say this is accessible, but you have to be looking for it.
yeah.
And I don't know that it's a lot of people's cup of tea. It's certainly mine. Like
Yeah.
I'm into this.
Yeah.
It doesn't force you to count. Everything grooves. You know what I mean by that? Like everything grooves to the point where you don't need to like go figure out the trippy time signatures.
Yeah, it's not Salisbury Hill or Money.
Precisely. But money grooves,
Right?
right?
So Salisbury Hill.
Yeah, but you don't have and so you don't have to count those. Same thing goes here. If you want to count them, good on you. I obviously was like, I caught the 7 thing. I
Yeah.
was like, I swear to God.
7 is happening. And where the 7 and 4 thing happens, if you want to talk about Tool, is the song 46 and 2.
Okay.
They intertwine 7 and 4, and it's like, oh, this 4/4 part sounds like 7. It's like, no, this is just 4. Yeah.
You know where Tool picked up some ideas here. No one can tell me otherwise.
Danny Carey has said so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome. This brings us into the third song. Mate Kudasai.
Mate Kudasai. Please,
Okay.
please wait.
Please wait.
Yeah. A beautiful song in 6/8.
Indeed. This could have been on the 666 episode. This is a big change.
It is.
This is not like the first two. And I like that
Yeah.
a lot. For not only for like album cohesion, it's nice to give my ear a break for a little bit and just see a different side of these fellows. This one is like a blues chart, but not. It's like a jazz chart, but not. It has like these little bits of like what would be like a Steely Dan type of vibe to them. It's kind of like
In that bass, in sort of the bass groove.
soft rock in the best way.
Da-da-dum.
There's a kind of like a shuffle to it, but everybody is like way too hip.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody can play their asses off. Even the effects they're using are like a little cheese ball, and I think like intentionally, you know, because they made it pretty clear. One of the things I haven't talked about is the timbre of their instruments, and we haven't really gotten to the part of the album yet where you start to really hear how crazy these guitars can get.
Right.
But you know, it's clear that they had access to resources, access to great gear, pretty awesome ears. They could have made this sound however they want. They really dialed in something that felt a little more trotty, you know?
Yeah.
And I like that.
And that could have also been 1981.
Sure.
You know?
Just the sound of the times.
Yeah.
Yeah. This one right here, I think my favorite part of the song though is during the choruses. It's just like simple, like 1 to minor 2 change. Because we've been hearing so much information, there's something soothing and then not soothing.
Right.
Because they took like a diminished turn.
Yeah.
The notes they're singing against it don't move a lot. They're keeping you on edge. You never really quite get comfortable in this tune.
Except for, she waits in a chair. There's a big angular drop.
Well, you feel that one.
Yeah.
And there's definitely a flat 5 in there somewhere.
Yeah.
It's such a cool tune.
Yeah.
And it's a groove. This to me was like holding my breath during like the action scenes.
Yep.
And resolution
Yeah.
after listening to the first two.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that the slidey guitar, all the glissandos happening,
Yeah.
is super effective. It creates mood inside of the song.
Yeah.
I said Fripp's guitar on that one created, but it could have been either. And then there's a really nice volume pedal guitar work towards the end. Really big swells with some good like. It's not even distortions. Either like fuzz drive. It breaks up really violently, but then like it's put back to bed.
Yeah. And he's basically just doing the vocal part.
It's so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
This is my favorite song on the album.
This is
Should be no
favorite
surprise
songs.
to you.
Yeah. It's mine too.
It's so damn good.
Yeah.
If you want to go listen to one song and be really happy on this album, go here.
Yeah.
I will not say it's representative of the album itself. It might actually be one of the outliers. There's nothing else on the album like it,
No.
but it's okay because all the musicianship, the trappings are there. And by the way, the singing is so good.
Yeah. His voice is fantastic.
Which you weren't gonna get proof of on the first two.
No.
And had this not been in position 3, you weren't gonna get on the next two.
Right.
You're like, okay, can this guy sing? I'm sure he could sing. Like, I was like, oh, this guy can sing like Trey Anastasio sings. Like, okay. You know?
Yeah.
No, this is a very, very good vocal performance. Highly enjoyable. I would want to cover this song.
And he sounded as good when I saw him, last October.
That's impressive.
How old he is, 70 years old or how old he is.
People lose wind at that point.
Yeah.
No, this was up front, like such a gem, such
Yeah.
a treat on this album. Really brought me back in because I think as the bundle, that's a nice trio of music right there.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
All right.
Awesome.
I love that the album called Discipline has a song called Indiscipline.
Which is obvious by the beginning of it.
Indeed. Indeed. So you have this like big Rush vibe. It's all sinister and crazy. And it's this intro and it just cuts.
Yep.
And I believe the line is, I do remember one thing. And he goes on to this kind of like monologue. Neat. This is very experimental. This is giving me like Zappa vibes.
Yep.
In presentation more than anything.
And who he played with.
Huh?
Who he played with.
Yeah, but
Adrian played with, yeah.
It's so funny. The guys who would play after and the guys who did play with are all references. It's very clear to me.
Yeah. And Steve I played with Zappa too.
Exactly. I remember hearing the Zappa tapes and Steve Vai's testimony on all that. And just, that guy's, for as good as he is and as insane as like he's like recognized in the field, he's sweat bullets more than anybody, it feels like.
Yeah.
He's had to go against people he respects way more,
Yeah.
This tune is wild. I count it in 5/4.
Yeah.
Hard. It took me a second. But about halfway through the song, and I went back a few times, I was like, yeah, it's locked.
Yeah.
And they do a lot of stuff, so sometimes it's hard to find the obvious pulls.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call it 5/4.
I believe it is too. And in live when he's doing his monologue, like the line that gets you back out of the monologue is something around the lines of "I can't wait for you to see it" or whatever it is, or "I liked it" or whatever it was. And so he would ramble, and the band would just keep playing and ramble and go longer and longer, and then say it. But he wouldn't cue them. He just like blurt out the line like, okay,
anyways,
yeah.
Whatever the next downbeat is, we all go.
Yeah.
And hopefully he puts it in the right place, or else we're like idiots.
Yep. And he was trying to mess him up.
You said he's goofball on stage.
Yep.
And so this song is, if you look at it, is 2.5 sections. The A section is gonna be this pretty like hefty. Like I said, sinister is the best word I could come up with. I really like that. And then the other part, it's a monologue.
Yeah.
It dials back significantly.
And he repeats himself when he's under stress.
And he repeats himself when he's under stress. He repeats himself when he's under stress. This one, it's an art piece. It's not like a flowy listen is what I'm getting at here.
No.
It's intense, and I like that. There's definitely the Talking Heads type of vibe here in presentation.
Yep.
It's like blatant.
Yep.
I'm not sure who came first, chicken or the egg, but like,
well, Adrian played with Talking Heads before he played here.
there it is. Yeah. So, but it's of the time, like right there.
Yep.
And Talking Heads kind of fall into their own category when you look at them. Who else is in the Talking Heads genre?
No, there's Talking Heads and
that's about it. Like you will find things that were inspired by it or things that people want to put adjacent to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Flaming Lips, and you're like, okay, fine, whatever. That's down the road.
Yeah.
This is like a stylistic thing. And I guess if you dialed all the way back up to Elephant Talk, you could probably get a little bit of that too.
Yeah, because of the shouty talk, it's all yeah.
And like there's a really odd expressiveness to his voice too. And he's doing something funky there because when you hear him sing a few songs later, you're like, oh, you have a lot of character.
Yeah.
Neat tune, pure chaos. Adds to the journey, and it sits right in the center of the album too, which I think is nice.
Well, yeah, because I think there's a story arc to this. No one has ever said that, but I actually think I've actually been able to thread a storyline through this entire thing because we're at song 4, we go to song 7. Song 4 is Indiscipline. We do finish with Discipline. But before we go to Discipline, we
hit some heavy content. I was going to say, if there's an arc that I felt, it was definitely the back half of the album where things really start to kind of unwind.
Yeah.
So that brings us to the 5th song here, Thela Hun Ginjeet.
Yep, Thela Hun Ginjeet.
Which is, I believe, a anagram for Heat in the Jungle.
You are correct.
Yeah.
You are
I had to
correct.
look it up, man. Every now and then Carl researches, but I had to look it up after hearing the back half of the song is kind of monologue.
Yeah.
Once again, we have one of these things, but now he's storytelling. And I was like, okay, what does this mean against what he's saying? And it's incredibly clear that this is all just talking about violence in the city.
Yep.
And I don't know if it's a specific experience someone had or just a general outlook, but there's
It's a real story.
okay, good. Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
there's a slightly political or social definitely social statement here.
Yeah.
And it's heavy. And so that caused me to go do a little bit of research.
Yeah.
And happy I did, because I think it ties in the front end of the song a little more at that point. Because this tune, you start the tune off and you feel like you're back at Elephant Talk or Frame by Frame.
Mm-hmm.
You have kind of these manic guitars moving fast, doing some weird syncopated stuff. You got a lot of that same vibe, which is, it almost feels like West African in the sense that you have this hand percussion mixed with the very melodic bass parts, which I love.
Yeah. Driving bass part.
Oh, very, very. And that's, that's, all the African West African music we've listened to,
Yeah.
It's almost always incredibly driving and free bass part, right?
Yep.
And then you get the wholesomeness of these hand drums. This one, I think I made a drum note on this. No. But I started to really listen to the hand drum sound sources. These felt a little more conga-ish until in the middle of it, a timbale rings out hard as hell.
Yep.
And I was like, Latin.
Yeah.
That's not a Latin groove.
No, there's nothing Latin about this song at all.
Not at all. You know what this does? This song does a few things for me. It drives, and it reminds me, even a little bit in the production, Parliament Funkadelic.
Okay. Because sounds nothing like Funkadelic, but I see what
It
you're
does, and I'll tell you why. Old Chili Peppers, who drew off of Funkadelic.
Yep.
Driving groove, group sing, whole band, 8 voices, unison,
Right.
upbeat, really funky cadence, neat melody, pentatonic melody.
Well, the verse melody though.
Yeah, that's
all. Yeah,
I'm talking about
the chorus. Yeah.
And I was like, this feels like actual funk,
Yeah.
but like roots funk, not like
Yeah.
brick house funk.
Yeah. Yeah. The groove isn't, but the vocals are.
Yeah, you get it?
yeah.
There's just something incredibly soulful about this that I really appreciated. And I like it because for me, it distinguishes it from kind of some of the other more experimental guitar, proggy sounding stuff.
Yeah.
Other things here that struck me was the kind of like the way that it turns into a noise track. It's not a short song, right?
6.5 minutes.
6.5, yep. And it takes about half of the song, maybe up to the 4-minute point even, for him to start telling the story.
Yeah.
So it's a slow burn.
Yep. Yeah, I like I'm not even sure what effect that they're putting on the guitar chords there. There's a chorus on it for sure. But it's very thin.
It felt like a phaser.
Maybe.
It was used on a really quick sweep with some sort of stacking or chorus. I agree. Yeah, that one jutted out to me. It felt like one of those old Dan Electro pedals. Like it almost felt cheap.
Yeah.
But like in the best way.
Yeah. Yeah.
A little detuny.
Yeah, and I almost thought because the anagram here kind of sounds like maybe Hun sounding, right? Because like actually it has the word Hun in it.
Yep.
I'm not sure if they were trying to go for a bit of an Asian flavored, like a Chinese sort of flavored tone with that.
Interesting.
The song doesn't sound anything. Like, it
at all.
sounds like a chaotic city
It does.
by the end.
But it could be Chinatown.
Yeah. Yep.
No, I mean, this is a very interesting tune because this one reinforces what we heard earlier during Indiscipline, where you start to hear a little more of the art side of this rather than the groove side of this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fair statement?
Yeah. Yeah.
So now you're like, right when no, that's a lie. There's not a point in this album yet I've sat and felt like I know what's going on.
No, because the next thing.
Keep steering. But everything's complicated, except one song.
Right.
Up until now, I'm just like, there's a lot. This is thick. This is 600 thread count. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Egyptian cotton, yeah.
And so in a good way, because it's a comfortable thing to sleep in. But that's how I read that. It takes you into sixth song, which is The Sheltering Sky. 8 minutes and 22 seconds. Oh my gosh. So this song starts off with a pretty chill intro.
Yep.
Immediately, I listened to all of our favorite instruments. This is the first time I felt familiar with the band. Like, okay, there's the bass line. There's the hand percussion. I know you guys now. I figured you out. What I didn't see coming here was this really cool dynamic build, which we have not had yet on this album.
Right.
Mind you, an Indiscipline, it's a hard stop.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. This one has this really great build at about the minute 30 point that draws on for a good minute. And you're kind of wondering where this is going, right? And by the time you get up to like 3:15, you've moved from a synthesizer that's doing a lead. This is actually the first time you really are starting to listen to a keyboard.
Yep.
I assume it's a synth. It has to be.
I'm not sure. Live it wasn't.
That's wild.
It was pedals.
In this, I'm almost positive because the sustain is so
Yeah.
there. And in 81, I'm having
Adrian
a hard...
had this pedal board that was Darth Vader's bathroom. There was a lot, you know.
We'll see. I will do something in post. Whatever this instrument is, which I still will stand by synthesizer. It does a lead thing for a little bit, and then it turns into more of an effect thing. And it's using like the verify effect, where things. It's kind of like, you know, when you kill a record and it just slows to a halt, and you hear the tone and the speed ditch at the same time. They do that for like a good 45 seconds to a minute.
Yeah.
And so it's just playing with effect.
Yeah.
And now you're maybe halfway through the song.
Yeah.
And then you end up getting more melody from those instruments, which, yes, could be a guitar. I still always called this synth. I've listened to it 4 times. I'd be blown away if this was all real guitar at that time. But who knows? They're the toys.
I thought it was a synth, and then I saw him play live without a synth, and I'm like, I'm not sure how that happened.
Understood.
But there's also something different live for this one, because what I saw, the back half of this, they let it be Steve's song. Like,
okay.
we have Steve Vai on stage. Let's let Steve.
May as well let Steve be Steve.
Yeah, so it was fairly
So it
different.
could have been. Who knows?
Yeah.
The backing of whatever this solo instrument is doing, though, is meditative and really pretty. And I really like it. It's a moment of control for them, restraint, which they've not shown much of.
A lot of restraint, actually.
And that's probably my sole piece of feedback about the album that's critical is, you know, I understand you're making an album, so like go ham. You will fatigue your listeners, even the biggest dorks. I'm not the biggest dork, but I mean, I rank top 10%. And it's a chewy listen. You know, I think that's one of the reasons I loved, you know, Mate Kudasai as much as I did. It was just a nice chance to breathe.
Yeah.
Here, you really get some chance there. It's a little long and boring in that sense, 8.5 minutes.
Yeah.
But I appreciate the instrumentation. I also think with some of the synth, because you can't tell me there's no synthesizer in it. I think that there's some cool opportunities here. And if I had to put a musical reference to it, I bet Daft Punk pulled from this. Just a scotch.
I can see that.
I bet they were influenced.
Yeah.
Or something that influenced their influencer.
Sure.
But there was some cool experimental stuff going on here. I don't know that I fully appreciate this song as much. If I listen to this album 20 more times, this actually might just keep rising in ranks for me.
This one is a grower, not a shower for me too. When I first heard it, I would like, get on with it.
Yeah.
Now I do really appreciate it. Still not my favorite.
It's a 3-part song.
Yeah.
And that's what I think I like about it, is it actually kind of moves through movements.
Yeah.
And the final one is my favorite. Which brings us to the final song, 7, Discipline.
Which is very disciplined. Like to hear it. So I'll just say this. Here's where I get an arc. Okay.
How so?
So you talked about the political content in Thela Hun Ginjeet. I think we start with political context in Elephant Talk, or some sort of discourse which is non-discordant, right?
Fair.
Whether that's a politician or someone of some sort of celebrity who's going through that. And then you move into frame by frame, which is like the daily life of someone who is in the spotlight, who is under scrutiny, who's dealing with all this stuff.
I'm going to say, I'll buy that.
Right? Who then is so self-absorbed with their work that she waits in a chair. Please wait, mate kudasai. I don't know if this is true. I'm totally making this up.
That's fine. I like fanfic.
Then the trappings of everything that goes on with any sort of fame or things like that leads you into indiscipline. Because he's like, every time I look at it, do I still like it? Right? I'm not sure what he's looking at.
I mean, there was insinuations all over that song.
Yes, yeah. He's going through that from the insanity of indiscipline. He's now out walking the city, the violent city, through Thela Hun Ginjeet. Right?
Well, there's rumblings on Wiki and some other sources that it could be a she.
Yes.
And she may or may not have been molested. And that was the story they're speaking of. So talk about falling from a place of grace where you feel untouchable to, being incredibly vulnerable.
Right.
On, kind of the low street per se, right?
Yeah. Where now you are in the sheltering sky, which is like your healing period. You're trying to get through this, and that's why it's messy.
Well, the implication could also be the shelter in the sky.
Yeah.
Going back to the safe place, right?
Yeah. Yep. And then finally you realize, okay, through all of the cacophony and everything that's been going on with this life, what I need is structure. I need discipline.
Discipline. Yeah.
And the song couldn't be any more structured.
Well, that's what I was going to say is, so, I mean, first of all, discipline is an instrumental.
Yeah.
And it has this ostinato that just hammers away. Two guitars that are just going to play kind of our faux counterpoint.
Interlocking.
Yeah,
parts.
interlocking is a better way than counterpoint in my person, especially in this one.
Yeah.
Because it's not like they're like chord comping each other. They're just harmonizing at times that I think are fun.
Yeah.
Yes, harmony is chords.
Yeah.
But it traditional counterpoint, nay. Here, it almost feels like a synthesizer, but not in the tonal sense, but in the programming, like on a click, a pretty clean presentation where it's just going to oscillate up and down whatever chord you're holding, right?
Yeah.
And yes, disciplined indeed. This tune right here, because it brings me all the joy, reminds me of our favorite band, Snarky Puppy. This has We Like It Here vibes, specifically the guitars. I'm positive those boys, Mark Letary and crew, ganked a little something during that, dun, 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 the horn part.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
I mean, it's like the feel is there.
Yeah.
And I, as soon as I heard that, smiled ear to ear. I was like, yeah.
Yeah. The only difference is, Robert Fripp, who wears a vest and a tie, is a little bit more, it's a more conservative performance than what you get in Snarky Puppy, but I completely agree with that.
You've got a lot of the trappings of the Snarky Puppy stuff. So you have that those crazy ostinatos, kind of these patterns that just keep moving, over and over. And then the hand drums, once again, it just feels like that. Now, this one, about halfway through the tune, yeah, about halfway through the tune, around 3:15, 3:30, the drum groove, suddenly wakes up.
Yeah.
And they're playing, I wouldn't call it conventional, but it's just this it's not a groove I've heard yet on the album. And it's compelling and it's simple, but it's really, really good. And it drives the song and everything's really building, but it's not building in anticipation. It's simply building in strength.
Yes, in layers. Yeah.
And every one of them just adds in a little bit more. It's like they came up with the 100% version, stripped it back, and then put it all back together.
Yeah.
Without ever showing you the first piece.
Yeah, I buy that. Yeah, I think that makes sense.
It's really, I don't know, it's encouraging. It's a great way to end.
Yeah.
This is my second favorite song on the album, which is funny because it's a little linear, which is not my jam. I'm like Groovehead, and you know this.
Yeah.
But there's something about this song that just feels right. I go running to this,
Yeah. Yeah, because everything is in its place, which is not. You're right. That's not you. You're more of a like lay back and feel a groove thing. And when I first heard this, it wasn't my thing, and then I'm like, God, I love this song.
I like that it's modular till it's not.
Yeah,
because once you appreciate about half of the sound was flying through it, you go, okay,
right.
This took a lot of thought
Because
you run out of space. There's only so much you could do.
Yeah.
And they make pretty damn good choices. And, the production overall, to be able to have albums produced where you can hear all of the frequencies and all of the effects with good space, I have to hand it to them. The production's fantastic.
It is.
For the time. For 81, for an album that they knew wasn't going to fight, Whitney Houston or whatever's going out then.
Yeah.
Like, this is a fantastic effort.
Yeah, my only critique of the production is I'd like to get a little more low end, but I could be just spoiled by all the low end I get now.
Yeah, but to say it just wasn't there like it is now,
Yeah,
we have more of it now. But no, I mean, I certainly wouldn't say no to it.
Yeah.
Also, it's not the most conventional bass playing and/or instrument, right?
No, the Chapman Stick is it's a 12-string instrument with it's half of a bass and half of a guitar, basically.
Yeah, it's wild. And so when you are offered more range, you're probably not just going to take, your low E string or whatever the low string on it is. I'm not, I know what it looks like. I've held one once. Mm-hmm. That's it. I've never really played a Chapman Stick.
Yeah.
Look, at the end of the day, I think you've convinced me in the sense that would I buy this album? Yes. Will I listen to this album again? Absolutely. Do I have a newfound respect for King Crimson? Absolutely. I like this album more than a handful of albums that we've listened to on the list. In fact, a handful might be an understatement. I like this album probably more than 14, 15 of the albums that we've listened to.
Wow.
So take that.
Take that.
No, it's fantastic. You nailed this one. And I think this band is a great place to show, for those who are wondering, like where you and I intersect musically.
Yeah.
The band that you and I started, together got into weird stuff that was, could dream of being this, that would entertain a lot of these ideas. We could pull from this, would happily be influenced by it, would love to be affiliated with it. And it's challenging and it's fun. It's still musical.
Yeah.
I would like to see the pre and post of this and kind of see where it lands.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you're into singer-songwriter, this is not for you. I'm not saying don't listen to it.
Listen to Mate Kudasai.
Yeah, listen to that. It's the 1 of 6, though.
Yeah.
Or 1 of 7 at that point. If you're into prog, listen to this. If you're into metal, listen to this. If you're into any kind of rock, listen to this. If you're into EDM, electro, listen to this. Mm-hmm. It oscillates. You will hear analog things that remind you of artifacts.
Yeah.
If you're into country, you probably don't want to listen to this.
Probably not. Except for
R&B, this probably won't stoke you.
There could be a cool country version of Mate Kudasai, though.
Agreed entirely.
Because that song is just it's a very basic song.
Yeah. It's a little bit of a chewy listen.
Yeah.
But I like that. I like my meat cooked medium rare.
Yeah. Not everything's Hostess cupcakes.
No, this is so good. So I appreciate you sharing this gem with me.
I'm glad you enjoyed it, my friend.
Well, I look forward to throwing an album your way for our next challenge. I guess we in a bumper early have already talked about what we're doing. Have you gotten any listens in on mine yet?
I have gotten a handful of listens in.
Very good.
Yeah.
Should we save the band for next week?
Let's do that.
All right. Well, in the meantime, I'm Carl Carter Fansteel.
I'm Dan Woodard.
And we look forward to seeing you when I try to convince Dan. Bye. Backwards Speeds Podcast is a Tuna-Wood production recorded live at Thought Shack Studios in Halethorpe, Maryland.
If you enjoyed the show, make sure to subscribe and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
You can find us at Backwards Speeds Podcast on most platforms.
Share the love, and we'll see you next week for another deep dive into the next album on Rolling Stone Magazine's Top 500 list. Until then, salt your melons.